Anyway, Krishna exists by himself. That doesn't mean that he exists in a vacuum, or that he is only living without any friends, family, associates like that. No. He is full. He is complete with everything. Everything that we have and everything that we desire, he has that in abundance. That is Krishna. Krishna possessing all kinds of opulence. Everything that is considered as great, Krishna is the origin of that. In Gita, Krishna himself says, even the supreme Brahman, the supreme spiritual oneness, I am also the origin of that. Not that Krishna is a manifestation of that. Some scholars will tell Krishna is the manifestation of the unborn Brahman. But no, Krishna is the origin of the Brahman. Krishna is always a person. Krishna is never impersonal. The impersonal Brahman, the white light, whatever you want to call it, it is merely his outward effulgence. Once you pierce beyond that effulgence, there you will find the person behind there. That is Krishna. And Krishna existing in his full quality, for himself and by himself. In India, some few hundred years ago, there was one king, Mughal king, whose name was Akbar. And Akbar was very liberal-minded. Although he was a Muslim by his faith, he was very liberal-minded. And he liked the Hindu religion very much. And one day in Delhi, they made an exhibition of all of the gods of the Hindu pantheon. Of course, not all the gods. There are 33 million, so you'd have a really big hall to fit all of them in. But the main ones, all these different gods, they made some exhibition there. And he was invited to open that exhibition. And when he came, someone was guiding him around, showing him the different exhibitions. Oh, this is Shiva, this is Surja, this is Indra, this is... And he's asking, what do they do? Oh yes, he is the god of the rain and the weather and this, and he is the god of the sun, and she is the goddess of this, and he is the goddess of... And this way, describing the functions of the different gods and goddesses. And finally, they came to the exhibition, Krishna exhibition. And Krishna is standing with his cow, playing his flute, like this. Then he asked, what is his function? And the man thought for a moment, and then said, he has no function other than enjoying himself. That is his only business, to enjoy himself. Then Akbar said, this is the highest conception of your religion, this Krishna. You can see, very intelligent man. But this is the fact. Krishna exists for himself and by himself, not to fulfill any purpose other than his own sweet will. And this is only you will find in Krishna. Commonly people will, if you read in any book about Hinduism, they will say Krishna is the 8th avatar of Vishnu. But although Krishna appears through the agency of Vishnu, he is also the origin of Vishnu as well. He is not an avatar of Vishnu. Vishnu is an expansion of him. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. In the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyas, the author, he is explaining all the scheduled incarnations. When he finishes explaining them, then next sloka he tells, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. All incarnations originating in the person of Krishna. They are all either partial or plenary expansions of him to fulfill a particular function. But Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead in his most intimate and fullest position. Just like we can use the example of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. She has so many titles. She is the captain of the guards. She is the chief of the armed forces. She is the head of the Church of England. So many different titles she has. And when she is fulfilling a particular function, she is addressed by that title. But when she's at home with her family, Prince Philip isn't saying, "Oh, my dear lady, hi, your highness," like this. No, he probably calls her Liz, isn't it? Liz, would you like a cup of tea? Do you want to watch EastEnders or whatever it is that they do at home? So, and as a person, this will be when she's in her most relaxed and most happy position. Not when she's performing some opening of Parliament or even driving in her gold carriage, waving to everyone. You think when she's in her gold carriage, waving to everyone, between her and the crowd, there's 3-inch bulletproof glass. So she is thinking, maybe some crazy man is going to shoot me any moment now. She is waving and smiling happily. But she's really most happy with her slippers on, watching the TV, with a cup of tea and a biscuit, probably. So Krishna is something like that. Krishna appears as Lord Vishnu Narayan of Vaikuntha. That is the Lord of Aishwarja, of majesty and splendor. And he is the maintainer of the world. And that is Krishna in one aspect. But in his most intimate aspect, his divinity is obscured for the purpose of his own enjoyment. In Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, they are not thinking of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are thinking of Krishna only as their most beloved son, their most dear friend, their most intimate lover. Like this is how the residents of Vrindavan think of Krishna. This is arranged by Yoga Maya. By Yoga Maya, they are ignorant, in a way you can say ignorant, of Krishna's divinity. Because knowledge of his divinity will get in the way of Krishna's relationship with them. Even Arjun, after Arjun is Krishna's intimate bosom friend. They are, playing together, sharing the same bed, sitting on the same throne together like this as friends. But after Krishna showed his Vishwarup to Arjun, then Arjun prayed Krishna, "Forgive me for all of those times when we enjoyed like intimate friends. I did not understand who you were." But actually Krishna does not like that kind of formal relationship. Krishna likes intimate relationship. And this is his the way that he communicates, the way that he communes with the soul in the most intimate way is with the residents of Vrindavan, the Brajabasis. There they are not thinking of Krishna in that way. Even one time when Krishna was in the middle of the rasa dance, dancing with the cowherd maidens, then he apprehended some pride in them, that they are thinking, "Oh, we are the dearmost of Krishna." Mm-hmm. And suddenly, to curb their pride, he disappeared from that Rasa Lila pastime. And then, where is Krishna? They are beginning madly searching him. And then Krishna appeared with 4 arms as Narayan. And when the gopis saw him, they all bowed down in front of him, "Oh, Lord Narayan," and offered some prayers to him. Then they said, "Have you seen Krishna anywhere? We're looking for Krishna. Can you help us?" But Vrindavan Leela means when Krishna is eating with his cowherd boyfriends, they are eating some laddu or some rasgulla or something, and then one boy will say, "Oh, Krishna, this is so nice. You try it." And with what he has eaten half, he will give the other half to Krishna, and Krishna will take that. But you cannot offer Lord Narayan your half-eaten rasgulla. That will be punishable offense. And when Krishna is sporting with his friends, they're making teams, and sometimes Krishna's team losing, And the losing team, they have to carry the winners on their shoulders. So Krishna is carrying one cowherd boy on his shoulders like this. And this way Krishna is enjoying that. But you cannot climb on the shoulders of Narayan. If you try to climb on the shoulders of Narayan, you will be cut down. It is not possible. But Krishna likes that kind of intimate relationship. That's why the fullest conception is the Vrindavan conception. The highest conception, that is the Krishna conception. In Brihad Bhagavatamritam, written by Sanatan Goswami, the dearmost associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there, the first part, Narad, he is trying to find who is the greatest devotee of Krishna. And he is going from one to another, from the Pandavas to Hanuman, to Prahlad, like this, from one different devotee to another. Then finally he comes to Uddhava. Uddhava is like Krishna's other self. Krishna said himself, "No one is more dear to me than you, Uddhava. Even the goddess of fortune, she is not as dear to me as you are. Even Baladev, my brother, is not as dear to me as you, Uddhava." This is their relationship. And Narad said, "You must be the greatest devotee of Krishna." And Uddhava said, "Oh no, Narad, you do not know who are the greatest devotees of Krishna. When Krishna sent me to Vrindavan as his messenger, I spent some time there, and I saw that the residents of Vrindavan, especially the cowherd girls, their hearts were breaking in separation for Krishna. And it is my profound wish that in my next life I may be born as a blade of grass in Vrindavan, so that one day I might just by chance get the fortune that one of those cowherd girls, she might tread on me. Her feet, her lotus feet may tread on me." These are the greatest devotees of Krishna, the cowherd girls of Vrindavan. Because they have no other desire in their heart other than to please Krishna at any cost. Mother Jashoda, Krishna's mother, she is willing to die 1,000 times a second just to remove one bead of sweat from Krishna's forehead, if it is possible. The gopis of Vrindavan, to test their devotion to him, Krishna, one time he had a very bad headache, and appearing as his own doctor, he told, "The only cure for this headache is if you bring some foot dust from Krishna's devotees to put on his head. This will give relief to him, and he will be cured." Then someone was sent, Purnamasi or someone was sent, "Go and bring some dust from the feet of the devotees." In India, everyone from India or been to India, they will know feet are a very touchy subject in India. If anyone will touch you with their feet accidentally, immediately they will. Like that. If you sit on the train and you put your feet up on the train seat, everyone will look at you like you're a leper. You can take your shoes off and put your feet, but with your shoes on, everyone will consider this is very low class person. So feet are considered the most lowest part of the body. And to ask somebody, give the dust from your feet I can put on my head, even in normal culture, that will be a no-no. No one will agree to that. And this was the case when they are going. First they went to the Brahmins. "Krishna has a headache, you please give some dust from your feet he can put on his head." The Brahmin said, "Impossible. If the dust from our feet will go on Krishna's head, we will go to hell for thousands of births. How is it possible we will give our foot dust?" And everywhere they went and asked this, the same reply. But finally they came to the gopis and told, "Krishna has a headache, he needs your foot dust to relieve it." "Yes, take it, immediately take it." "Oh, you're not worried that you may go to hell?" "We do not care if we have to go to hell. If it will cure Krishna's headache, we are ready to go to hell. No problem. Take whatever you need." This is Vrindavan Bhakti, Braja Bhakti. You will not find this anywhere. This is the highest conception of devotion. And the highest conception of Godhead is the Krishna conception of Godhead. The sweet conception of Godhead. Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha, he has 60 kinds of spiritual qualities. In the Veda, there it is being told that the normal living entities, they have 50 kind of qualities, and they're given there, different spiritual qualities. The soul, your soul, my soul, like this, 50 kind of spiritual qualities. Then those who have very elevated in spiritual consciousness, like Lord Shiva, Mahadev and others, 55 kind of qualities. But Narayan in Vaikuntha, 60 qualities that puts him above all others. But Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna has 64 qualities. 4 qualities that you will not find in Narayan of Vaikuntha. And what are they? That is Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Parikara Madhuri, and Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. These 4. Leela Madhuri means very sweet pastimes. Madhuri means sweet, sweetest. Very sweet pastimes. You will not find any pastimes like Krishna's pastimes. They are so sweet. You will read them and you will be enchanted. That is Leela Madhuri. And Rupa Madhuri, Krishna has a very sweet form. According to the Vedic ascetics, symmetry is perfection. And Narayan, you will always see he is symmetrical, with 4 arms, with 4 weapons like this, very symmetrical. But Krishna, he has a different kind of beauty that is beyond that. That is called Trilalibanga. He has a 3-fold bending form. There he stands with his flute in his hand. Who sees that? They must faint to see such beauty. Cannot keep their composure to see such a beautiful form. Even Krishna himself, when he sees his reflection, sometimes he faints to see his own beauty. He is so beautiful. That is Rupa Madhuri. And Parikara Madhuri, that means very sweet friends. Krishna's friends, the cowherd boys, the cowherd girls, they are so sweet. And what is the other one? Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. Oh, and Venu Madhuri. Venu Madhuri means a sweet flute. Krishna has the most sweet flute. And playing his flute, when Krishna plays his flute, all living beings are attracted to that. Sometimes when Krishna plays his flute, the birds in the sky become so stunned, they forget to flap their wings, they fall from the sky. It is so beautiful, the sound of Krishna's flute. When the cowherd girls are fetching water from the well, with the baby on one hip and the bucket in the other hand, sometimes hearing Krishna's flute, instead of throwing the bucket down the well, they're throwing the baby down the well. That is so much they are entranced by the sound of Krishna's flute. And when Krishna plays that 8th note, everyone melts in ecstasy to hear that. And what is the flute song of Krishna? Radha, Radha. That is the sound that Krishna's flute makes. This is Krishna. So sweet, sweet Krishna. Krishna Sundar. He is Sundar. He is beautiful. He is sweet. And this is the Lord. That's why George Harrison wrote that song, My Sweet Lord. He is so sweet. No one is sweeter than Krishna. The Lord is sweet. Even that philosopher, another German philosopher, Nietzsche. Nietzsche, he wrote that book, Man and Superman, and this is various different. But he said, if I believe, he was trying to be in a mocking way. He said, if I believed in God, then that God would have to be a really good dancer. So one name of Krishna, that is Nataraj. He is so wonderful dancer. So Krishna is that God that even Nietzsche could worship. He is dancer. One time our Guru Maharaj said to us, reality is dancing. What do you think about that? Reality is dancing. It is. This is the kind of religious conception that we get from Srimad Bhagavatam, that was taught by Sri Chaitanya Dev, Mahaprabhu, revealed to the world by Sri Chaitanya Dev. That reality is dancing, and wherever he goes, he is causing others to dance, causing others to sing his holy name. This is Krishna. When someone asked Guru Maharaj, what should we preach about Krishna? Then Guru Maharaj's reply was, just tell how beautiful is Krishna. Just tell how sweet is Krishna. You don't need to say anything more than that. Who is attracted? They will be attracted to know more about who is that sweet boy that plays the flute. Who is he? One great saint said, if you are attached to the things of this material world, then don't look at that boy who stands on the bank of Keshi-Ghat playing his flute. Don't look at him, because if you look at him, your material life will be ruined. It will be finished. Once you see him, you can never consider anything of this world to be valuable anymore. It will just be like so much straw in the street. Whatever it is that you think. That is the nature of Krishna. And not only that, but Krishna's nature is that he is a thief. Krishna is a thief. And like a thief, he comes in the night. He doesn't need any invitation. And although we may have built up great walls to stop Krishna from entering into our heart, one day he will come and take possession of everything. And you will find suddenly there is nothing in your heart except Krishna. Then when that happens, your heart will be Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has predicted that in the future, my holy name will be sung in every town and village around the world. This is his prediction. And one time, somebody asked Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then based on this prediction, is it your ambition to make a temple in every town and village of the world? And he said, no, that is not my ambition at all. My ambition is to make a temple in the heart of every man, woman and child in this world. That is my ambition. A temple of Krishna in the heart of every man, woman and child. We have to make our heart a temple for Krishna. Krishna actually living in our heart already, only we cannot see him. It is described in Bhagavad Gita like two birds sitting on the tree, soul and super soul. The soul is enjoying the fruits of the tree, sometimes something sweet, sometimes something sour. So sometimes he is enjoying in life, sometimes he is suffering in life. But Krishna, sitting on that tree as the super soul, just witnessing that, not interfering with our free will. We have free will. Then Krishna not interfering with that, but waiting. That one day we will turn to him and say, I've had enough of the pleasure and the pain of this material world. Now I want you, Lord. I want you. And when we turn to him, then Krishna will reveal himself to us. That is all. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, first deserve, then desire. So if we want Krishna, we have to make ourselves fit, our heart a fit place for Krishna to live. So therefore we have to practice Krishna consciousness, sadhana bhakti. But what is the practice of Krishna consciousness? Nama ruchi jiva doya. This is Mahaprabhu is told that and Vaishnava seva. These three things Mahaprabhu told. These are the essentials of Krishna consciousness. That means to have love for the holy name of Krishna. Jiva doya means to be kind, to be merciful to all living beings. And Vaishnava seva means to serve the devotees of Krishna. If you practice these three things, definitely you will get Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna says in Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuro mami vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyoshime. Think of me, become my devotee, meditate on me. Do everything as an offering to me, and surely you will come to me. This is my promise to you, Arjun. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma shucha. Whatever you consider to be your path, your dharma, your duty, whatever you consider, leave that and just surrender to me, Krishna tells Arjuna. Don't worry that sin will overcome you for leaving your obligations in this world, because I will protect you from that and you will come to me. Sharanam Braja, that means by your surrender to me, you will come to me. In Braja means Vrindavan. You will come to live with me in Vrindavan. Janma karma chame divyam, Krishna says. Who understands my janma and my karma? Janma means birth. That's why we are telling Janmastami. Janma Astami. Krishna is born on the 8th day of the moon. Janma Astami. On that 8th day, Krishna is born. And karma means action. So Krishna says, who understands my janma, my birth, and my actions, my activities, all to be dibya. Dibya means completely spiritual, fully transcendental. Who understands this? He does not need to take birth in this world ever again. He will never return to this material world of repeated birth and death, of suffering. Never. But rather he will come to me in Vrindavan. So we have to have faith in Krishna's lila, in Krishna's birth. Krishna's birth is not like your birth or my birth. Krishna's birth is more than the Immaculate Conception. Krishna's birth is like the sun rising from the ocean. In ancient times, the primitive people would say that the sun is being born from the ocean. But we know the sun is not being born from the ocean, only it appears like that. So Krishna also appears in this world, but his birth, he is birthless, he is deathless. He is never born, he never dies. Only we are seeing like that with our mundane vision. But Krishna's birth is completely transcendental, and Krishna's pastimes also completely transcendental. Not some fictitious character or some ancient Indian prince who behaved in a particular way. No, that is not Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is real, more real than you and I are real. When we are long forgotten, still everyone will worship Krishna. And of course you may say, oh, but nobody worships Krishna. Everyone in this world is after everything else, and just 30, 40 people in this room maybe worship Krishna. Then what is you say everyone worships Krishna? But this material world is a very small part of the whole creation. And we are living in this area, but the majority of people living in this transcendental world, the spiritual world, and they are all worshipping Krishna, without exception. That is their qualification for being a resident of the spiritual world. Otherwise you cannot live in the spiritual world. So we may think we are a minority, but actually we're part of the majority, only we're living in a minority area for the time being. Krishna is the reality. This is not reality. Again, Krishna has told that in Gita, that the wise, they have concluded that that which has no permanence doesn't really exist. So we think all this is very real, wood and stone and metal and concrete and glass, but a few hundred years from now it'll just be dust. It has no permanence, so therefore it has no real existence. It exists, but it exists only temporarily. So therefore the wise have concluded it has no real existence. But there is a plane where everything exists eternally. As Lord Jesus said, don't store your treasure where moth and rust will corrupt it. Store your treasure in the house of the Lord. There it will be multiplied. As our Gurudev Srila Govinda Maharaj used to say, I may be a very poor man, but if I merge my account with Krishna's account, then I am wealthy beyond measure. Who knows Krishna? He knows everything. And who has Krishna? He has everything. This is a simple truth. This is the essential truth about Krishna consciousness. Once you have him, there is nothing more that you need, that you require in this material world. Whatever you think you need now, it is all an illusion. You don't need any of it. Nothing at all. You don't need that big house. You don't need that big car. You don't need that beautiful wife. You don't need that big bank balance. You don't need any of those things. You don't even need this body. You can still exist. Even without the body, you can exist. None of those things. They're all products of Maya. Maya means that which is not. Illusion. They're all illusory. We look in the mirror and we think that's me. Today I'm looking quite good, or I've got a spot, or this or that. I'm not looking so good today. Me. I'm thinking that's me. But 10 years ago, there was a different face looking in that mirror. 20, 30 years ago, a baby's face. Where's that baby face gone now? Different body even. Even by material calculation. The scientists, they say that all of the cells that make up our body, they're completely changed every 7 years, in a 7-year cycle. So every 7 years you can say you have a completely different body from the one that you had 7 years ago. But you remain the same, isn't it? The baby, the adult, the old man, the old woman, you remain essentially the same. So that means you're not the body. What you see, that flesh and blood and bones and hair, and that is not you. You are something more. You are something essential that is existing within that and can exist even without that. So it is only by our contact with the matter that we are thinking that we need so many things. But actually, while we are thinking we need all those things, we are neglecting our real self. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, as soon as you become ill, some symptoms come in your body, and you go to the doctor or you go to the chemist and get some medicine or whatever. You take care of it. But we cannot see our soul. And no matter how corrupt our soul may have become, we don't care for that because we can't see it. So we don't give any attention to it at all. But our soul is covered by matter so much that it is obscured from our vision. We do not know even who we are ourselves. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, if once you will meet your real self, the golden self that is you, you will feel ashamed that you thought that mean conception of who you are, that was you. If you were to meet your own self just once, your real self, what to speak of if you will meet Krishna? So Krishna consciousness means to meet Krishna. We want to meet Krishna face to face, soul to soul, heart to heart. He is reality. He will reciprocate with you. He will talk to you. He will play with you. He will dance with you. He will love you. You will love him. That is Krishna consciousness. Now we are thinking it is a theory, but actually it is the reality. And this world is a theory, actually. It is only a theory. Only we have to change our faith. Now we have faith in matter, but we have to transform that faith to faith in spirit, faith in the spiritual dimension. Everything we do is based on faith. Even when we put one foot in front of the other, it's an act of faith, that the ground is solid. We have faith, the ground is solid. We put some food in our mouth, we have faith that will give some sustenance, that it is not poison to us. We breathe the air. Everything we do you get on the airplane to fly to another country, it is an act of faith. You don't know where that plane's going, but you have faith. It is going to the destination that you have paid your ticket for. Everything. You cannot name one thing that we do that is not an act of faith. So faith is by very nature intrinsic to us. So only we think that faith is a kind of a nebulous idea, but actually faith is very substantial. Only we have to place our faith in the right thing, in the right direction, in the right reciprocal the repository of that faith has to be real. If we give our faith to the politicians, we'll be disappointed. If we give our faith to the businessmen, we will be disappointed. If we give our faith to whatever it may be in this material world, ultimately we will be disappointed. But if we give our faith to Krishna, we may think that that is blind, because we cannot see Krishna as we are now. But he will reciprocate with us. He will show himself to us. You will know that he is reality. You will know that Krishna is reality. You will see that. You will not only understand that as a theory, you will know it as a fact. As Srila Govinda Maharaj used to say to us, I am not, I have never been a cheating man. If it is a cheating business, then I must leave it. And if this Krishna consciousness was cheating, then I would have left it a long time ago. I may not be able to do good for everyone, but at least I will not do bad for anyone. So we can understand that Krishna consciousness is the real panacea for everything that ails us, actually. Because it is our own wealth. It is our own property. Only we have to awaken that within us. It's not a question of conversion. Sometimes people say, oh, you were a Christian. How come you were converted to this Vaishnavism or Krishna religion? It's not a question of conversion. It is a question only of awakenment. Only when you awaken from your dream, then you can see the reality. Otherwise, we can go on with so many theories and so many arguments, and no end to that. People will tell you there's so many wars in the world because of religion. But that is not actually religion. That is only theory. My theory different to your theory, so we better have a fight about it. This is foolishness. When we are able to see the truth, then we have no reason to fight with anybody. Those who have the highest conception, they can accommodate all other conceptions. Everything can be accommodated. By the Krishna conception, everything is happily accommodated. Any religion will tell you, that will say to you, if your religion is different to mine, then I will kill you. And we must have a war because of that. That is because their conception is not very evolved. Evolved spiritual conception can easily accommodate your conception. No problem at all. Bhagavad Gita, you will find all kinds of conceptions in Bhagavad Gita. From the highest to the very basic spiritual conceptions, you will find it there. Even in India, the anarchist party, they would carry one Bhagavad Gita in every member of the anarchist party. One Bhagavad Gita they would keep in their shirt pocket. And they are bombing trains, and they are terrorists, they're blowing things up. But they're finding justification for that in Krishna's words in Gita. So you can find all kind of conception in Bhagavad Gita. But finally, the highest conception of Bhagavad Gita is Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Majjaji Mam Namaskaro Mami Vaishasi Satyam Te Pratijani Priyoshi. Be my devotee, think of me, surrender to me, do everything you do as an offering to me, and you will come to me. This is Krishna's promise. Guru Maharaj said, in Gita, Krishna is shamelessly canvassing for himself. Shamelessly, Krishna is saying, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything rests on me like pearls strung on a thread. Everything is, I am the source of everything, Arjun. No other truth but this truth. Then Guru Maharaj is told, so shamelessly Krishna is canvassing for himself. Then he's telling, everything is in me and I am in everything, but nothing also in me. But I am the supreme controller of everything, but I am sympathetic to you. I am your friend. You can believe me, Arjun, because I am your friend. I will not cheat you. So Arjun is taking our position. Of course, Arjun is Krishna's Parshada, Krishna's eternal associate. But for the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun is our proxy. Arjun is already enlightened soul. But for the sake of the Gita, he is taking the role of an illusioned living being, like we are. And in that illusion, he is told to Krishna, I do not know what to do anymore. I have lost my composure. I don't know what is right. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what is my duty. I don't know anything. Then Krishna, you must take charge of me. I am surrendering to you as your disciple. Now you instruct me what is best for me. And if it were only of use to Arjun, then the Gita would be useless, wouldn't it? It would be of no value. But Gita is so valuable because Arjun is our proxy. He is taking the role of us, every one of us. We are Arjun in that scenario. And Krishna is our guru, our guide. He is teaching us how to come to him. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning? Why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? All of these questions, they're disposed of in Gita. They're answered in Gita and more. Inner fulfillment is given in Gita. Hidden treasure of the sweet absolute. Krishna is told, this knowledge is the most secret of all secrets. It is the king of knowledge. Bhagavad Gita. This way, nowhere else in any other religion will you find the Lord making such bold claims, brazen claims for himself. So this is today his appearance day. And all around the world, people are celebrating this appearance of Krishna. And if we will understand how that Krishna's appearance as the beloved son of Vasudeva and Devaki, of Nanda and Jashoda, then, and his eternal pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, then we also will not have to again take birth in this material world. Why? Because Krishna has promised that to us. If you will understand this, then you will not have to be born again in this material world, Arjun. Whoever will understand my birth and my activities are all transcendental. No one can do what Krishna can do. When Krishna was only 9 years old, he lifted a mountain with his little finger. Just like a child lifts a ball. He lifted a whole mountain. And people will say, oh, it is impossible. No one can do that. But who is Krishna? Nothing is impossible to Krishna. Someone asked Guru Maharaj once a philosophical question. Can Krishna make something so heavy that he cannot lift it? This was the question. They thought a clever question. Because if Guru Maharaj will say, yes, he can, then they'll say, ah-ha-ha! Then that means there's something that God cannot do. He cannot lift that thing which he made. And if you say, no, he can't make something that is so heavy he can't lift it, then that means there's something that he can do. He can. So they thought, very clever question. And Guru Maharaj's reply was, Yes, Krishna can make something so heavy that even he cannot lift it, and then he'll lift it. Because Krishna's nature is, he is dynamic, he is not stagnant, he is not fixed, he is always expanding more and more and more. This is Krishna's nature, inconceivable nature. Nothing is impossible to him. I have a friend, a very dear friend. Now he lives in Bangkok, but before he used to live in Calcutta, and I used to stay with him sometimes. And one day we were eating mangoes together. It was the beginning of the mango season. And I said, do you remember in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is told there, the Lord Chaitanya, he took one mango seed and planted in the ground, and immediately a mango tree grew there, and he distributed those mangoes to his devotees. But these mangoes, they had no skin and no stone. They were just pure mango. And he said, "Now that's impossible." And I said, no, it is told there. And he said, it must have been a different kind of fruit, because a mango has a stone in it and it has a skin on the outside. And no, this is Mahaprabhu's mango. It is a divine mango. And he said, no, that's not possible. I said, even for God it is not possible. No, not even for God is it possible. Okay. He can create the whole universe, but a mango without a seed and a skin, that's not possible for him. So we should not have such small faith. Everything is possible to him, nothing impossible to him. And if anything is impossible to him, in the next moment it is possible for him. Because this is his nature. And even though he is greater than the greatest, bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, the Alpha, the Omega, all of those things, he is all those things, but still he is our very best friend. No one is dearer to him than we are. No one will be a dearer friend to us than he can be. Only we have to surrender to him. That is all. Krishna says again in Gita. Gita is such a mine of wealth. There he says, as the living entities surrender to me, so I reciprocate with them accordingly. So, as much as we surrender to him, that much he gives himself to us, actually. Krishna is captured by the surrender of his devotees. We cannot force him to do anything, but he cannot deny the desire of his devotee. One of my friends that I used to work with, he's a Christian, and he used to tell me every Sunday before they go to church they have a little meeting, and they will ask each other, so what is it that you need? They say, well, I've got a bit of a clapped out, I could do with a new car. My daughter's taking her exams, and it would be good if she could pass her exams. So then when they would go to the church together, they would pray. I would say, oh, please, Lord, give a new car to my friend. He needs a new car. And in return he would say, oh Lord, please let my friend's daughter pass her exam this way. I said, why do you do that? He said, because it's wrong to pray for things for yourself, isn't it? So I said, oh, and you think he's fooled by that, yeah? I ask for you and you ask for me. He's fooled, yeah? So no, not like that. But you see, there is a kind of symbiosis of love between the Lord and his devotee. When Krishna wants to serve his devotee, actually, but the devotee not letting Krishna serve him, never giving any opportunity for the Lord to serve him. Rather, he will serve the Lord. And if any obstruction will come to that service, even by some boon, he must curse that benediction. There's example in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There is example of Akrura, not Akrura, of what's Krishna's Daruka, Krishna's chariot driver in Dwarka, Daruka. He is driving Krishna's chariot when Krishna living as a prince. Then one example, Daruka is giving the fan to Krishna, standing by Krishna and fanning. And by the dint of his service to Krishna, some ecstasy coming in him. That is called Asta Sattvika Bhava. 8 kinds of ecstatic feeling or ecstatic symptoms coming in the body of the devotee because of their devotional ecstasy. So Daruka begin feeling some ecstasy, and one symptom is that you're shaking and you cannot keep your composure. So when he is shaking with ecstasy, he's dropping his fan. And when he's dropping his fan, then he's cursing that ecstasy because it is interfering with his service to the Lord. So he doesn't want that because it is interfering with his service. So this way, this is devotion. The devotee does not allow the Lord to give him anything in return. The devotee's prayer is, if you will give me anything in return for your service, let that be more service. Let it be opportunity for more service. Let it be capacity to be able to serve you better than I did before. This is the devotee's prayer. They never want anything for themselves. But Krishna, he wants to give something to his devotee. He wants to give some benediction to his devotee, some boon to his devotee. Wants to make his devotee happy. What he desires, he wants his devotee to have that. Cannot happen. The devotee doesn't allow it. So, when the Vaishnava, when you or I will give some service to that Vaishnava, then Krishna's desire is fulfilled. Krishna wants to serve that devotee, but the devotee won't allow Krishna to serve. But if you or I come along and try to do some service to that devotee, give some pleasure to that devotee, then Krishna feels, oh, he is doing what I cannot do. She is doing what I cannot do. What I want to do, he is doing, she is doing. Then Krishna gives his grace to that devotee. This is a spiritual symbiosis. This way, then that person, that you or I, we also become that favored devotee of Krishna. And this way, we will not let Krishna give any reward to us other than his service. Then someone else can come and give service to that devotee. In this way it goes on, and this is how we advance in spiritual life, by serving Krishna's devotee. Because that pleases Krishna more than if we serve Krishna himself. Krishna has told that to Uddhava, 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who says they are my devotee? I may not accept them as such. I may or may not accept who says they are my devotee. But who says they are the devotee of my devotee, then I consider really they are my devotee. That is really my devotee. So Guru Maharaj, using the old English saying, would say, love me, love my dog. Krishna is saying this. If you love me, you will also love my dog too. We're not saying the devotee is a dog, but the principle is like that. If you want to please the father, try and please the son or the daughter. Give something to them, the father will be more pleased than if you did something for him, isn't it? If I helped his son or helped his daughter this way, then the father will be more attached with me, more indebted with me, than if I did something to help him himself. This is Krishna's nature. So if we can please Krishna's devotee, and how also to awaken our Krishna consciousness, that is through Krishna's name. Krishna's holy name is Krishna himself. That's why we are always chanting Hare Krishna. It is not that we have become brainwashed. Sometimes our brains do need washing, it's true, but they're filled with so much rubbish. But it is not that we have just become Hare Krishna automatons, just chant Hare Krishna. No. We are chanting Hare Krishna because it is Krishna himself. Scripture has told us that. We may not understand it. It may not be our realization yet, but Krishna and Krishna's name, they are the same, because they are of the same spiritual substance, Advai Gyan Tattva, the one indivisible absolute truth, Advai Gyan Tattva. In this material world, if you are in the desert and you are, water, water, I need water, that by saying water will not quench your thirst. But in the spiritual world, the name and the object are the same. So in the spiritual world, if you say water, immediately water is coming to you, you are quenched of your thirst. So in the same way, if I call, oh, Krishna Bandhu Prabhu, but Krishna Bandhu cannot hear me, Krishna Bandhu not coming to me. But when we are calling Krishna, then immediately Krishna is there in his name. Krishna and his name are the same. If the name is Shuddhanam, pure name. But that is another thing. But the principle is this, Krishna and his name, they are the same. So when we are calling Krishna's name, Krishna himself is present there. And no difference between the name and the named, but one difference. Actually, there is one difference. Rupa Goswami has told, if there is any difference between Krishna and his name, is that Krishna's name is even more merciful than Krishna himself. Because although we may make offense to Krishna, simply by constantly chanting Krishna's name, we will become free of that offense to Krishna, by the power and the mercy of Krishna's name. So Krishna's name is imbued with all spiritual qualities. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we are directly communing with Krishna. This Maha Mantra is pure Krishna consciousness. Don't be mistaken about that. The name Krishna is Krishna himself. The name Rama is also Krishna himself. When we say Hare Rama, we are not talking about Dasarathi Rama, the son of Lord Dasarath, Ramchandra, not that Ram. Not even Balaram, but Radha Ramana Ram, that Ram, who is giving pleasure to Srimati Radharani, that Ram, Radha Ramana Ram, that is Krishna himself. This Maha Mantra is pure Krishna consciousness. And Hare means Srimati Radharani, Krishna's beloved consort. It is actually a prayer to Srimati Radharani. Oh, my lady, please engage me in the service of your Lord Krishna, in the service of your Lord Rama. Please engage me. This is what we are praying when we are chanting this name of Krishna. So don't be surprised if service will come to you then. You are chanting Harinam and service must come to you. I cannot now, Prabhu, I am chanting my japa, I cannot come to do service. What do you mean? You are asking, give me service, service. And then when service coming, no, I have to chant my prayer for service. No. Service is everything. We want to go to the spiritual world. The spiritual world means where Krishna is the only male and all others are female. He is the only enjoyer and all others are to be enjoyed by him. He is the master and everyone else is the servant. Then we must practice to be servant here in this material world. By practicing to serve Krishna here, we will make ourselves fit to serve him there. You cannot go there if you have any selfish desire. Any selfishness, any separate interest, then you have to stay here and sort it out here. This is the plane of self-interest, the plane of misconception. When we are thinking we are existing because we are the center of the universe. But he is the center of the universe. When we accept that, and when we move in harmony with that spiritual flow, then we make ourselves fit to go to that spiritual realm. Without the ego of a servant, you cannot go there. You cannot go there. You are barred from there. The door is closed to you, the gate is barred. But you should not think that serving Krishna here is different to serving Krishna there. It is the same thing. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. That when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, Krishna is accepting it as good as if we were there in the spiritual world with him. He is accepting. If he is accepting our service, he is accepting it as good as if we are there in the spiritual world with him. That is why the sadhana and the sadhya, that means the means and the goal, they are the same thing. As we say, virtue is its own reward. So, to have a virtuous heart, to be aspiring for a place in the service plane, that is its own reward. What we are aspiring for, it is so high and it is so rare. Lord Shiva does not have that. Lord Brahma does not have that. The Vedas personified are apologizing to Krishna. We could not give your glories properly. We could not show what we are meant to show to direct people to you. We were incapable of that. Lord Shiva says, Aham veti, Shuka veti, Vyasa veti na veti va. I know the meaning of the Vedas. Shukadev knows the meaning of the Vedas. Vyasadeva, he may or may not know the meaning of the Vedas. It is relativity in the absolute. And Guru Maharaj, commenting on that verse, he said, but that's just Lord Shiva's opinion. We also say he may not know fully also the meaning. So we are so arrogant that what Shukadev aspires for, what Brahma aspires for, what Lord Shiva aspires for, that they cannot get, we are saying we are aspiring for that. Then we are thinking, how is it possible? Who are they and who are we? But we are aspiring for that. And Guru Maharaj said it is almost impossible that we can attain such a thing. Then you may ask, well, why bother then if it's impossible? Because virtue is its own reward. That we are attempting to do that, it is its own reward. Actually, there's nothing else worthwhile doing in this world, or any world, in this plane or any plane. The only worthwhile thing is to know yourself, to know what you are for, to know who is your Lord and how to reach your Lord. And not only how to reach your Lord, but to reach your Lord. It is your inner wealth. There is no other duty that is higher, that is greater, that is more imperative. Thank you. We must know that. That is the meaning of Krishna Janmashtami. When Krishna appears, he appears for that reason. He has made this material world. Another name for the material world is the Durga. Durga means the prison. So, and the goddess Durga, she is the mistress of the prison. She is making sure we are all kept here in illusion. And we are thinking that we are free. But what greater prison is there than that in our illusion we are thinking ourselves free, but we are completely bound by our karma, bound to this material world as if we were pinned to the wall. We are completely captured here. When you see the painting of Durga Devi sitting on the lion, and she has 10 arms, and in each arm a weapon, and those weapons are meant to keep us here in this material world, for keeping us in illusion. But what is our position? Our position is, without any weapon, just by raising her eyebrow, we are immediately captured by her. We accept whatever she shows us as reality. And there we are thinking we are free, but we are prisoners of our own diseased consciousness. We are living in a diseased state of consciousness. We cannot even see our own self. How more diseased can you be than that? Then we are in the prison. Then why we are in the prison? Because we have misused our independence. By Krishna has given independence to us, free will. Because without free will there is no question of love. Love must be given freely. Krishna cannot make us love him. We have to love him by our own free will. No one can make you love them. But Krishna desires that, only that. That's why he's created us, every one of us, to live with him in a life of love. But for some reason we chose, no, we don't want that, we will make our own way. I'll make my own way, I'll be the Lord of everything. In fact, what we are saying is, I want to be another Krishna. I want to be Krishna, and I will find my Radha, and I will live in that world, and everyone will bow down to me, and I will be the king of the castle. And Krishna says, okay, off you go. There you are in the material world, and we're making our way, and everyone, but everybody's doing that, so there's a clash there, I want to be the top dog. No, I want to be the top dog, and so everybody clashing with everybody else. No harmony. Krishna is the center, but we're all eccentric, moving outside of the center. Eccentric means kind of mad. We're living like mad people in this mad world. And we're all trying to be the king of the crop, the dog-eat-dog world. I want to be the best dog, the biggest dog, and eat all the smaller dogs. And I'll be the king dog. That's the material world, the plane of exploitation, where one living entity is food for another living entity. It is no fit place for a gentle man or gentle woman. We do not want ultimately to live there. So this position we find ourselves in, living in an illusory environment. And while we're living in this illusory environment, we are thinking ourselves completely free to do whatever we want. But we are not completely free at all. If for just 1 minute somebody cut off the oxygen supply, we'd all be flapping around like fish on the floor, and in a few moments we'd be dead. That's how free we are. We are completely dependent on nature to give us our sustenance. But we are so ungrateful, we are not even thanking the Lord for that, for the air, for the food, for the water, nothing. We're so ungrateful. But this he could have done. He could have put us here, locked the door and thrown away the key and forgotten about us, couldn't he? He could have done that. But he doesn't. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. In age after age, I advent myself, I appear in this material world. For what purpose? To establish the principles of real religion and to elevate my devotees, to rescue my devotees. Guru Maharaj said, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes madly searching for his lost servants. The Lord's loving search for his lost servants. That's his nature as Gauranga Dev Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna. Krishna's Leela is called Madhura Leela. And when Krishna becomes overwhelmed with the mood of compassion, which is called Odarja, then that Madhurja Leela becomes Odarja Leela, and that is distribution of Krishna consciousness. That means he wants to awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness within every living being. Within every living being. So he comes to distribute himself through his holy name. And those who are fortunate, hearing that holy name and themselves chanting that holy name, they awaken to find Krishna, reality, the beautiful. That is the meaning of Janmashtami, Krishna's advent. Krishna wants to be born not only in Mathura, in the prison of Kamsa, he wants to be born in your heart, in my heart, in every one of us. He wants to be born in our heart. So we have to make our heart a fit place for Krishna to be born. Then we will try to do that by chanting his holy name with faith. With faith and without offense, we will try to chant Krishna's name. And one other thing necessary, that is Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan means proper knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. That is also necessary for us. If you want to go somewhere, let's say I want to go to Edinburgh, then you have to have some plan how to get there, isn't it? You don't just go out into Green Street and jump on the first bus and take me to Edinburgh. You won't get very far. You have to find out what's the proper way to get there, isn't it? Yeah, and then you have to go to the train station and buy your ticket and get on the right platform, make sure you get on the right plane. All of these things. So you have a plan how to get there. That's called sambandha. That means the knowledge of how you proceed. So that is necessary. For without proper conceptualization, you cannot have proper realization. Proper realization comes after you have had proper conceptualization. That is sambandha. And sambandha and abhideya. Abhideya means when we put that theory, sambandha is the theory, when we put that into practice. Now we know our route map. So now I've got my suitcase and my money and my passport or whatever it is, I'm going on my journey. That is called abhideya. And when we arrive there, that is called prayojana. Prayojana means our goal, when we reach our goal. So we may be a long way from reaching our goal, but every journey must start with a single step. So Krishna Janmashtami means to make that first step. Make that step towards Krishna. Try to find out who is Krishna. Try to find out what is your relationship with Krishna. Try to find out how can I understand Krishna? How can I awaken Krishna consciousness within me? How can I make myself a fit place for Krishna to be born in me? That is our journey. And Krishna is our journey's end. But not only that, He will help us on every stage of the journey. He will help us. For every step we make towards Him, 100 He will take towards us to make our journey easier. And what He is so wonderful and so merciful that He has given us the association of the devotees so that we can proceed together. We must proceed. No question about that. Alone or in company, we must proceed towards Him. But if we can go in the company of good friends, then the long journey becomes very short. When you're in the company of those who care for you, then that is the Vaishnavas. Then our Guru Maharaj has provided us with this temple so that we can come together, we can serve Him, we can worship Him, we can pray to Him, we can sing to Him, we can see His divine form. And although we may only see that it is a statue of Krishna, it is an emblem of Krishna, still it will invoke the feeling of Krishna consciousness in our heart. When we see the form of Krishna, if you go to someone's house and they have a picture on the wall of Grandma, no one will say, oh, it is just some chemicals and pigment. They will say, oh, there is Grandma, isn't it? So in the same way, someone may say, oh, there's only paint and marble and some clothes and this. But no, those who are devotee, they will say, there is Krishna. And those who are really devotee, they can see Krishna there, and they can speak with Krishna and dance with Krishna and play with Krishna. It is Krishna. Krishna is not limited, but He is also unlimited. Therefore He can appear in His deity form and accept our worship for Him in that way. This way we will see Krishna, but more important than that, when we come before Krishna in the temple, not so much we will think we are seeing Krishna, but rather we will think Krishna is seeing me. Now I have come before you, Lord, see me and make me as you want me to be. This is how we should approach the deity of Krishna, and pray to the Lord that through His devotees we will get the vision to see Krishna in His real aspect. We may have so many conceptions about who is Krishna, what is Krishna, but only Krishna can give Krishna. Only Krishna consciousness can give Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness are the property of Krishna's devotees. So through Krishna's devotee, we can get Krishna consciousness. Just as one candle lights another candle, one devotee of Krishna makes another a devotee of Krishna, and another a devotee of Krishna, and another a devotee of Krishna. In this way, very soon, those small candles light up the whole world. In the Baha'i faith, they have their slogan is, changing the world one heart at a time. I really like that. Krishna consciousness is about that, changing the world one heart at a time. We are not so much interested in, marching with banners and trying to change the world by some campaign, but rather we want to change our hearts, change ourselves from being an exploiter or a renouncer to being dedicated, to dedicating ourselves to the center of all existence, Lord Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful. This is Krishna consciousness, and this is the meaning of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. I finish now for you. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Shyam Sundar Giridhari Chiu ki jai. Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Jai Devaki Vasudev ki jai. Jai Jashodananda ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Dev Shish Prabhu ki jai.